A whole series of questions about the North. Is it really impossible to bring towns like this fully alive again? Or should they be left to go on, simply in decline? Now, I've already said that officially, Batley is a grey area. But is that good enough for Batley and for other northern towns?
Bed Street housing estate.
It has already been taken up with the contractors.
This area has seemed to me like York City.
Page 49, item A, City Park Road, clear this area. 4.
We go on to the town clerk's statement.
We can come to Batley in its heyday, say round about 1900, or really any time up to the First World War. You would have found it looking absolutely splendid, not like it is at the moment. You might actually have arrived by train, and you'd have got to the station, which looks pretty small now, and it's surrounded by weeds and grass and tat, generally speaking, and there are things growing up in between the cobblestones. But in those days, it was really very smart. And not only was it smart, but right beside it, you might have stayed in the Station Hotel, which was one of the grander hotels in the north of England. And if you'd walked a few yards further down the road, which is this curving road, at that time entirely cobbled from side to side, you'd have found it lined with some of the most magnificent buildings in this district. Private hotels, hotels of different kinds, offices and warehouses, and all having this wonderful feeling on a great steep curving hill, the sort of thing that architects from the Regency onwards were trying to create in towns, prestige towns, posh, suburban areas. If you look at them now, at the windows, or any other part of them, and you realize that the heyday of this part of the town is really past. It has now begun steadily and remorselessly to decline. And Batley's rooftops tell the story of its days of glory. The solid Victorian grandeur of the past, broken only infrequently by more modern intrusions, like the Cooperative Society's spot of pre-war Cunard liner bridge in the main street. But there's a new roof, and with it, a new success story. Almost incredibly, Jim Corrigan, a member of a Yorkshire fairground family, has built up in Batley what is claimed to be the biggest nightclub in Western Europe. He doesn't see Batley, as some do, as a music hall joke.
I can choose anywhere I want to live in this area. I've got enough money to buy a house anywhere within reason. I want to be near my business. I could live in Harrogate or York. I could easily get here in half an hour. And I choose Batley because I like the place. I like the people, and that's why I like to live here. I wouldn't move anywhere if it was offered to me. In fact, my grandfather, we were off the fairgrounds, and he used to say he wouldn't be found dead in Batley. I used to say, never go near Batley, it's a terrible place. But I married a Batley girl, and I live in the town. The place is right, the people are right. I like the people so much that the people makes whatever place it is. I wouldn't live down south. No, I wouldn't live down south in London or any other place because there's no intimacy with the people down south. People don't know people. Like in Batley, everybody knows to a certain extent everybody else, and it's something of a family. Like a family, people know each other. Down south or in a very large city, you just live in a street, and that's all you know is that little street. Possibly it is a music hall joke at the moment. But, if there's a few people get together and we really try, we can make the joke go the other way. And people, the Variety Club was a joke. Everybody said it couldn't be built and it couldn't be done and it would be a failure. But it's been proven that they was wrong. So I'm sure that we can prove that Batley can do just as good.
Each night, hundreds of people from all around the West Riding make their way to Batley for a breath of the high life. The mushroom growth of clubs, usually rooted in a working-class tradition, has been a recent development in the North's cultural life.
I have been known to disappear, so don't let this miracle melt away. The stars shine high and if you think hardly of it, you better love me while you may.
In other respects, what is that? The whole Northern and Yorkshire and Humberside regions have only one resident professional orchestra, the Northern Sinfonia. Whatever happened to the Yorkshire Symphony Orchestra?
You better love me while I'm here. I've been known to disappear, so don't let...
Westward, there's the Halley and the Liverpool Phil. And of course, we receive missionary visits from London, opera and ballet companies to add to the North's declining traditions of choral singing and banding. Perhaps one reason why clubland booms in Batley is that there's very little else to do. Batley's club is as exotic a growth as the palm trees over the public lavatories. It's founded on initiative. But nightclubs can't support an economy.
Don't forget the glasses for the pale ale and the 2 strong.
Glasses for pale ale and the stone, right?
It's a bit more lime in that, half a bitter. 3 pints of bitter and 2 hours of bitter with lime, please.
For Batley, as for other northern towns, more industrial initiative is needed. Initiative which needs encouragement and help. What help does a town like Batley get? Alderman Ernest Knowles.
Many of us have felt, and my council has felt for a long time, that there isn't enough help given both in the way of technical advice and in the financial aspect of the rebuilding, the renewing of an urban district like this. In fact, I'm quite sure that there should be much greater financial assistance. A local authority is left to its own initiative. And a borough like Batley of 40,000, how can it face capital expenditure, which I estimate is round about anything 15 to 16 million pounds on the projects that have been ahead? They're problems that almost bewilder one.
So Batley jogs along, rather like an old man who keeps an open mind with some difficulty, always being a bit resistant to change, but knowing he has to change, as it has to change, every day. And we looked at Batley because Batley raises all sorts of problems which are typical of the north of England. A grey town in a grey area, an overwhelmingly 19th century heritage in a mid-20th century world. Batley. Once, like so much of the north, at the heart of the world's first industrial revolution. Not a really hard-hit town. We could have chosen harder cases, from the northeast or from Merseyside, in areas where, unlike the West Riding, the government has accepted a commitment to help. But what of the future of Batley and all the other northern towns like it? Isn't something more needed other than spirited individual responses, which have not so far restored Batley or the industrial north? So much has been let run down for so long that to revivify it requires action to affect the totality of northern industrial life. Not just new factories, not just new firms in old mills, but a whole new environment and a whole new set of attitudes. But what can be done about the Batleys of the north? Can they continue to go it, if not entirely alone, at least with help which, as has been said, is inadequate? Should towns like Batley be helped at all? Or should they be quietly abandoned and national effort directed to the development of new and faster growing points in the economy? It is with questions like these that I shall be dealing in our final programme.